Welcome back to Rapture Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get ready for another story you won't forget. Let's dive back to the story. Emily Hart, a young maid from a modest London neighborhood, stepped nervously into Ashford Manor for her first day of work. The mansion was enormous, its marble floors gleaming and chandeliers sparkling with wealth beyond her imagination. As she carried cleaning supplies along the polished corridors, she accidentally entered the private master suite. There, unexpectedly, she found the reclusive billionaire, Jonathan Ashford, bathing. Shock froze her, but Jonathan's calm gaze met hers without anger. Instead, a quiet intrigue lingered in his eyes, as if her presence was both surprise and a curiosity. Jonathan surprised her even further by not firing her. He asked Emily to stay, captivated by her genuine demeanor and lack of pretension. That night, a new routine began. She would meet him in his suite, and they would talk. The conversations, initially cautious, began to bridge the gap between their vastly different worlds, sparking a connection neither fully understood yet. Night after night, Emily and Jonathan's conversations grew longer, delving into personal truths. Jonathan shared the loneliness of immense wealth, the pressures of running a vast empire, and the emptiness of social circles where people only wanted from him. Emily, in turn, spoke of her struggles growing up modest, her dreams, and her desire for independence. Jonathan slowly lowered the walls he had built around himself, revealing a vulnerability Emily hadn't expected. She felt drawn to the man behind the billionaire facade, captivated by the humanity she glimpsed. Despite their growing bond, whispers among the staff were inevitable. Some warned Emily that men like Jonathan would never truly care for someone of her status. Yet, each night, she returned, compelled by an unexplainable pull. The connection deepened, a delicate but intoxicating thread binding them together, even as doubts and fears lingered at the edges. The mansion buzzed when Jonathan's ex-fiancée, Victoria Langley, arrived unexpectedly. Victoria was sophisticated, elegant, and wealthy, a perfect match in society's eyes, yet cruel in her intent. Her pointed remarks about Emily's humble background cut sharply, reminding Emily of the enormous divide between them. Emily felt both humiliated and determined, sensing the fragile thread of her connection with Jonathan might be threatened. Jonathan, however, remained unshaken by Victoria's presence. He subtly defended Emily, not through confrontation, but through his attention and quiet insistence on her value. Emily's admiration for him grew, tempered by the fear of gossip and judgment. It was clear their bond was becoming more complicated, and the pressures from both within and outside the mansion threatened to pull them apart. Emily found herself drawn into Jonathan's world in ways she had never imagined. The private, nightly conversations became a refuge from the scrutiny of the mansion. Jonathan shared his past losses, moments of betrayal, and the burden of responsibility that came with his empire. Emily listened with empathy, feeling her heart soften toward the man whose loneliness mirrored her own struggles in life. Each exchange built a fragile intimacy that neither of them could ignore. Yet, the mansion's hierarchy made Emily uneasy. Gossip spread, warning her that men like Jonathan often returned to their own kind, wealthy, elite, untouchable. Emily began to question whether she truly belonged in his life. But the pull she felt was stronger than her doubts. The connection she shared with Jonathan had become a lifeline she couldn't simply abandon. One evening, Jonathan invited Emily to share a quiet dinner in his private suite. They laughed, talked, and discovered shared love of literature and music, bridging the gap between their worlds. Jonathan's charm was not just in his wealth or status, but in his ability to listen, to see Emily as more than a maid. Emily, in turn, felt a sense of worth she had never experienced before, as if the mansion itself faded around them whenever they were together. However, the more time she spent with him, the more Emily noticed the whispers and subtle disapproval from staff and society alike. The mansion, though lavish, felt like a cage of expectation. She realized that staying close to Jonathan came with scrutiny and risk. But despite it all, the bond they shared had become undeniable, and leaving was no longer an easy thought. Victoria Langley escalated her efforts, flaunting her wealth and influence in subtle, cutting ways. She reminded Emily of her position as a lowly maid, leaving Emily both hurt and infuriated. The mansion felt colder than ever, and Emily questioned whether she had misread Jonathan's intentions. Yet, Jonathan remained steadfast, offering quiet reassurance and showing her that she mattered in a way Victoria never could. Emily began to notice a change within herself. She felt empowered, yet conflicted, drawn to Jonathan, but unwilling to be defined solely by her relationship with him. Each night's conversation in the suite was a mix of comfort and tension, a delicate dance of desire and restraint. The more she learned about Jonathan, the more she wanted to be near him, but the pressures of their disparate worlds threatened to overwhelm them both. The mansion erupted with rumors when Emily and Jonathan were spotted in subtle, private moments together. Staff whispered that she would never truly belong in his world, that men like him always returned to women of status. Emily, hurt by the gossip yet emboldened by Jonathan's confidence in her, decided to hold her ground. The quiet strength she had cultivated in her modest life now served her in the face of scrutiny. Jonathan, for his part, ignored the mansion's gossip, treating Emily with respect and affection that contrasted sharply with the judgment surrounding them. Their nightly meetings became more than conversations. They were escapes, moments where the world outside could not reach them. Emily began to feel a rare sense of agency in her life, a power that came not from wealth, but from mutual respect and emotional intimacy. Emily decided she needed space to reclaim her independence. Though leaving Jonathan pained her, she took a job at a small London cafe far from Ashford Manor. The distance allowed her to reflect on her desires, ambitions, and the kind of life she wanted to build for herself. Each day at the cafe reminded her that her worth was not tied to Jonathan or the mansion, but to her resilience and ability to stand on her own. Jonathan respected her decision, giving her space and time. Yet, he could not deny how much he missed her. Even from afar, their connection lingered, like a quiet echo in both their hearts. The separation tested them, but also clarified their feelings. Their bond was not rooted in convenience or control, but in genuine affection and shared understanding. Weeks passed, and Jonathan finally sought Emily at the cafe. His presence was commanding, yet gentle, as he asked her to return, not as his maid, but as his equal. Emily, touched and reassured, agreed, determined that their relationship would be built on respect, choice, and mutual support. She knew that returning under her own terms was a declaration of her independence and self-worth. Their reunion was filled with quiet intensity, a mix of relief, longing, and anticipation for the life they could now envision together. Emily realized that love did not mean losing herself, and Jonathan demonstrated that wealth and power did not have to define the terms of their bond. Together, they began to navigate a new chapter, one of equality, trust, and shared ambition. Emily enrolled in hospitality school, determined to earn her education and independence without Jonathan's financial help. She wanted to prove to herself and to the world that she could succeed on her own merits. Jonathan, though eager to assist, supported her choice, understanding that love meant empowering one another rather than creating dependence. Their relationship became a partnership of equals, strengthened by challenges and mutual respect. As Emily thrived in her studies, Jonathan's admiration for her grew. He defended her against societal scrutiny, proving that his commitment was unwavering. The mansion that once symbolized wealth and isolation now represented a safe haven for their love, a place where trust, respect, and ambition could coexist. Emily had transformed, not only in status but in confidence, ready to step into a life defined by choice, courage, and true partnership. Emily's success at hospitality school brought her newfound confidence. She excelled in her studies, impressing her professors with determination and creativity. Yet, even amid her achievements, her thoughts often drifted to Jonathan. Their private moments at Ashford Manor remained vivid in her memory. Each conversation and shared glance forming a bond that distance and ambition could not break. Emily realized that her independence and their love could coexist. They were not mutually exclusive. Jonathan, observing Emily's growth from afar, felt an intense pride. He admired her dedication and knew that the woman he loved was becoming the equal he had always hoped for. Their nightly messages and weekend meetings strengthened their connection, fostering a love that was patient and understanding. For the first time, Jonathan felt that he could share his world with someone without fear of imbalance. Their relationship was evolving into something rare and enduring. Life at the mansion resumed a new rhythm, but Emily insisted on maintaining her independence. She returned to Ashford Manor for occasional visits, never as a maid, but as Jonathan's partner and equal. Their evenings were spent discussing business, literature, and personal dreams, as Jonathan encouraged her ambitions, and she offered fresh perspectives on his enterprises. Emily began to feel fully seen, not just as someone loved, but as someone capable of shaping her own destiny. However, societal whispers remained, as distant acquaintances and staff speculated about the unlikely pairing. Emily ignored the judgment, bolstered by Jonathan's unwavering support and the proof of her own abilities. Each day reinforced her belief that love was not about hierarchy or possession. It was about partnership. Jonathan's patient dedication and Emily's growing self-respect became the foundation for a bond that could withstand scrutiny and societal expectations alike. Jonathan's ex-fiancée, Victoria, tried once more to reinsert herself into his life, flaunting wealth and social power. She organized grand parties and invited influential elites, hoping to tempt Jonathan back into the world of appearances and social climbing. Emily attended only once, politely but firmly asserting her place as Jonathan's equal. Her grace, intellect, and poise silenced critics, showing that she was not the naive maid they once assumed she was. Jonathan observed with quiet satisfaction. He realized that Emily's transformation went beyond education or confidence. She had become his true partner in every sense. Their love had matured, built on respect, shared values, and mutual support. Victoria's schemes could not shake what they had developed together. Emily's presence in his world was no longer questioned. She belonged not because of him, but because of who she had become. Emily's career advanced rapidly, and she accepted a prestigious management position in a hotel across London. The decision was bittersweet, as it meant spending time apart from Jonathan, yet she was determined to prove her capability independently. Jonathan supported her without hesitation, understanding that her success was a reflection of her strength and ambition, not a threat to their relationship. Their love had reached a point where distance only reinforced trust and admiration. As Emily navigated her new role, Jonathan followed her quietly, attending events and providing guidance when asked. Their relationship was no longer defined by secrecy or societal expectation, but by partnership. Emily discovered the power of choice and love. She could leave, yet she stayed because it was her decision. Jonathan's patient presence reminded her that true love celebrated independence, ambition, and equality rather than control or ownership. Work became a source of empowerment for Emily. She thrived in her position, earning recognition for her leadership and innovative ideas. Colleagues admired her dedication and poise, unaware of the billionaire she loved standing silently in support. Emily's success proved that her journey from maid to accomplished professional was a testament to determination, resilience, and self-respect. Jonathan, proud as ever, continued to protect their privacy. Though he could have flaunted his wealth to boost her career, he refrained, allowing her accomplishments to stand on their own merit. Their love had matured into something stronger than possession or dependency. It was an alliance of equals. Emily felt free, empowered, and deeply connected to a man who had once captivated her simply by seeing her as she truly was. The couple decided to leave the imposing Ashford Manor and move into a smaller, cozier home. The mansion had been a symbol of wealth and isolation, but now they craved simplicity and intimacy. Their new home reflected their shared values, warmth, comfort, and equality. Every corner echoed their laughter, their shared dreams, and their commitment to building a life on mutual respect rather than societal expectation. Jonathan's patience and Emily's independence blended seamlessly in this new chapter. They hosted friends and family in a welcoming environment, free from judgment and pretense. Emily thrived professionally while maintaining a deeply intimate and supportive partnership with Jonathan. For the first time, they truly lived as equals, showing that love could flourish without hierarchy, wealth, or control overshadowing connection. Emily's career continued to flourish as she accepted invitations to lead projects across the UK. Jonathan, now fully comfortable in the balance of their relationship, accompanied her when necessary, supporting without overshadowing. Their dynamic inspired admiration among peers, who began to see the true power of equality in love and partnership. Emily realized that independence and intimacy could coexist, creating a life richer than either could have imagined alone. Jonathan, for his part, learned to let go of traditional control, embracing partnership over authority. He celebrated Emily's triumphs and challenges alike, proud of the woman she had become. The love they shared had evolved into a union of equals, one that neither wealth nor societal pressure could disrupt. Emily's journey from maid to accomplished professional demonstrated that success, respect, and love could coexist without compromise. As Emily's reputation grew, so did opportunity for leadership in new cities. Jonathan supported her ambitions, promising to follow and maintain their partnership wherever her career led. The couple began envisioning a life built on shared goals, mutual respect, and unwavering love. Emily felt empowered to lead, knowing Jonathan would always stand beside her as an equal, never a patron or obstacle. Their love had become an anchor in both personal and professional realms. Friends and colleagues marveled at the balance they had achieved, recognizing that their relationship was founded on respect, choice, and unwavering commitment. Emily no longer feared judgment or gossip. She had carved out a life that was authentically hers, with Jonathan by her side, proving that love could be powerful without being controlling. The couple faced minor challenges, adjusting to new cities, demanding careers, and occasional whisper society, but each obstacle only strengthened their bond. Emily thrived, making decisions confidently and independently, while Jonathan offered guidance without interference. Together, they had created a partnership where ambition, respect, and love were inseparable. Jonathan reflected on their journey, from the night Emily had stumbled into his suite to the woman she had become. He realized that his love for Emily was not rooted in possession, but in admiration and partnership. They had built a life where freedom and choice were paramount, proving that true love was about supporting growth rather than controlling destiny. Emily accepted a prestigious management role in a major city, with Jonathan willingly following her, proving that their love was grounded in mutual support and respect. They moved into a charming home, simple yet filled with warmth, laughter, and equality. Their life together reflected the values they had built: independence, ambition, and love that celebrated each other's strengths. Their story concluded not with dependence or dominance, but with choice. Emily had the freedom to leave, yet she stayed because their partnership was built on mutual respect and shared vision. Jonathan and Emily had found true happiness, proving that love could flourish when both partners were equals, free, respected, and deeply cherished. Their journey from a mansion to independence demonstrated that real love is rooted in trust, patience, and the unwavering belief in each other. That's all for today. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.